Hi guys, this is Chris speaking, and I'm happy to be back with another video for you guys. We made it. The transition from South Europe to the Caribbean was successful. We have this very nice villa with the pool here, and we don't even know what to do with all this space. We spent the last 9 months traveling in 2 RVs in Europe with our 6 kids and 4 animals, and made the transition to come for the winter here to the beautiful tropics. And so many people were writing to us and asking us, and we realized again that this needs to be communicated in some way. How we do that, how we manage to transition this long-term flight with 6 children. We have 4 animals with us on the airplane. How can you do this, and how can you be so relaxed and calm about it? And this is the reason, because so many, we don't know, because for us it's just so normal. But as you have been asking, I decided to do this video where I talk about 7 different things we learned from traveling the world since 25 years with 6 kids. So let's get right into it. The first thing, the most important thing that I'd like to share with you, or that made all of this possible for us, because we don't have the background. We don't come from traveling families. There is no money in our background, or so we don't have, there's not the education really. So we really made this all up, from zero basically. And the reason why we enabled us to do that is because we allowed ourselves from the get-go to dream big, not being restricted by our abilities, by our bank account, by our education, by our parents, by our heritage. That played no role. We didn't allow, and still to the day are completely freed from any restrictions whatsoever that have bounds to so-called reality. All that matters to us is what makes us feel good. What is it inside ourselves? What is our soul longing for? What does it want to experience? What is God calling us to do? And we had great teachers along the way, mostly our children. And I want to highlight this because kids, they also don't have these restrictions from reality. They are so free about what they think they can do and what they allow themselves even to dream about. And this is something that from the very beginning, when I met my beautiful Katie, 1997, it's actually more than 25 years ago, when we did our first travel all around the world single, when we met. And that was something from the get-go that we both enjoyed so much, just dreaming together and doing this totally free from any restriction. And that's something that I'd like to pass on to you guys as a foundation for a blissful, purpose-driven, rich, wealthy, healthy, high energetic life. Dream big, guys. And that leads already in the second point, I believe, and that is that we just follow those dreams without even really knowing what we're doing. We don't have the plan. We don't know exactly how everything turns out. We just like to move along. We just follow and do, and rather adjust along the way. It's like repairing an airplane in mid-flight. And to us, that always served us so well. We rather adjusted a little bit the direction we went into, sometimes we didn't even know exactly what the goal was. We just knew the direction. We knew the direction we want to head into, and when we just went for it. And that is the second point. Just successful people like to make quick decisions, like to move along and to not overthink and overstructure things, because again, reality has its way to limiting your ability to create, because it's always so restricted. We are not interested in that, because we felt and experienced too often that we can bend rules, we can bend reality, we can create something that was not there before because we just say so and we just make it so. And together with kids, it's easy to do that if you listen to them and are close with them. This goes hand in hand with the third point I want to mention here, and that is that we give not any space and attention to the so-called naysayers. There are plenty of them, especially where we come from in Germany, but I believe it might be not very much different where you are. There are a lot of people who allow those restrictions to define their life. And if you come along and do something out of the box, and you do something fresh, and do something that is bold and that is promising to be fun and create something amazing, you will very often find yourself in the position of not having a lot of supportive people in your family or in your neighborhood, in your community. And if you have so, it's great, but don't let those ones who are not define your decisions and influence even just your decisions. So that's a very important point. You must be willing to be the pioneer in your community, the pioneer in your family, and to accept that this is not easy. That's our experience. It was not always easy to be like, we are not the black sheep. We were the trendsetters. It felt at times like we were the black sheep because we didn't exactly know how it pans out and if it's all gonna go well. But it all did in the end, because we never gave up. We just kept on doing what we were doing. But it requires, as a pioneer in your community, in your family, possibly as a pioneer in your own life. Yeah, if you want to create some amazing new life, you need to be willing to overcome the old and be bold about it, and to accept that there is not, and make yourself independent from support around you. I don't need support. I need clarity, focus, determination, and knowing that it is right what I'm doing. And then I just move along. We just move along as a family. We always find the resources. We find the teachers. We find the way. We find the money. We find and everything we need in order to get where we so clearly are set the sails to go to. The fourth thing is that you gotta be willing to break some rules if you want to create more happiness, abundance, wealth, and joy in your life. That is, of course, within the legal boundaries. We're not breaking laws that will bring us in jail or cause problems with the police. But then sometimes it's borderline, if you say so. I come from Germany. Our kids never went to school. We have 3 adult kids right now. So in Germany, that is legally forbidden to do so. So there are some gray areas, I'd say. But generally speaking, obviously, I'm not an anarchist who wants to break legal laws, you know. But again, sometimes it's borderline, and mostly I mean it in a way that you gotta be willing to break the rules within your family, within your social structure, within your neighborhood, within your community, it's just the way it is. If you want to create results or a life that is extraordinary, that is defined with freedom, or it's not defined by anything because it's so free, and you really do what your soul is calling you to do, then I would say the biggest like rule giving authority is my soul. It is God. It is what is right for our family. And what is right for our family will not harm other people. It will possibly harm some systems and some authorities, and that's fine. I don't mind, I don't care. But I'm willing to do what is necessary for our family, for the development of our family, and for the life that we ought to live this incarnation. And I don't care at all about what some people or institutions, or even within myself, what tells me or wants to tell me what is right and wrong. I feel it, and I have so much trust, and we are so guided by our own soul, because we are committed. We have been committed for such a long time to do what is right for our kids and for our family, to be healthy, to be happy, to be wealthy. And that sometimes means doing even what some people say, or what some voices within yourself say, some crazy things. I mean, when we bought our property, when we went to Costa Rica in 2010, that's 15 years ago, we didn't have money. We didn't know what to do there, where to go. We were pregnant with 3 young babies, childs, and were pregnant with number 4. We didn't had the answers to that. It just felt so right. We felt so guided. We felt drawn to do that, to leave the European security behind us and just follow that path. So we did, and it turned out, as always, when we followed our intuition, it turned out to be the right thing. When we bought the property in Costa Rica some years later, we didn't even have money to buy the entire property, yet alone, talking to an architect, having money to buy a house, knowing the rules there to how to get material up this muddy mountain. We didn't know any of that, but we knew it's the right thing. And now we have a beautiful dream house on top of this mountain there. So there are so many examples, and maybe you find your own examples in your own life. What happens, what good comes out of breaking some rules, following your guidance, following your intuition, ignoring the naysayers, and doing what needs to be done. That leads to the 5th point, and that's something we intensely learned building in Costa Rica, when I stick with that example, and that it is that sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. That goes hand in hand with being a rule breaker, with being a maverick, somebody who is doing new things. You cannot avoid stepping on some toes, or moving into a direction where you have to slightly adjust the direction you're rolling towards the future into. But it's so easy if you do the right thing, if you do what is right, if you follow your inner guidance and your intuition. You can always adjust. You can always again say, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean that. Let's just move to the other side, or we move along here." And we're not afraid to do that. We're not afraid to step on some toes, because if it is happening in the process of manifesting what is right for our family, we are always supported. There's always guidance. There's nothing can harm us, and nothing ever did. Number 6 is that we always had mentors in various different fields, and we never felt that we had to invent the wheel again ourselves. There are teachers in various different fields. And for us, this might be different for some other people here in our community, but for us, it was also always the case that we never had just one teacher or like one philosophy that we totally got lost in, even though we sometimes had some areas where we really dove deep, we dove deep in, but we always had, at least, and we still to this day, we have several mentors, several different areas, and this makes sense for us because we are so special in the way how we approach life. We have 6 kids, never went to school, we're traveling the world since 20 years, we have several businesses and investments going, so we are so special with what we do that no one mentor or teacher could give us everything that we needed to know. And so we are very careful how much power we gave to one single teacher in our life. We always, the biggest authority always was our soul and our intuition, God, if you will so. And we always trusted so deeply that we always felt helped, supported, and guided in our decisions and in the way how we approached manifesting or going about them. That we always had and still have teachers, but are very much here with us. We feel what is right to do and how to do it. This is where we get some help and still do. And what we recommend also, don't make it so hard. If you want to play learn how to play the piano, don't just sit there and go like this on the piano. Take some lessons. Get a teacher. Now, that's what we also do with our clients. That's what we received for all those long years. We spend multiple six figures in coaching and mentors and education along the way to grow and to get the knowledge, especially as we didn't have the teachers and the knowledge and the education in school. We had to learn a lot of different things to be where we are today. And the last point I'd like to mention here is about gratefulness. One of the most powerful aspects of our life is finding reasons every day, many times, to be grateful, to find things in my life and create things through gratefulness. I create situations and proof to be grateful for. And there are so many things to be grateful for, and it goes in 2 directions. I mean, we are grateful for having been able to live such an amazing life, traveling, being with our kids every day since they've been born, for the wealth we create, being so healthy, being so happy and loving with each other, having loving relationships. So we are thankful to be allowed to experience that. But we are also, there's both parts. We are also thankful. I'm also thankful towards myself because we created that. It didn't fall from the sky. When we would have just followed what was given to us or what was possible to us, we would never could even have dreamed of having a life like this. So there's also pride and gratefulness towards our own decisions, towards our bravery, towards our determination, towards our willingness to change and let go of old things, embracing new things. This all plays a role, it all plays a part. And both aspects, being grateful for things that are out of our control, but also being grateful for things that are within our control, this is like the foundation of the amazing life we were able to create. And with that, I shared these 7 important points of a world traveling family with a big bunch of kids doing this since decades, and I love to still to this day, after 17 years on YouTube, to take you guys with us. If you enjoyed this, if you found some value in my words, please leave us some love. Check out our Spotify podcast. It's linked down below. Come to our blog on our website, so we are independently connected with having no social media cooperation between us. This is why I love to be mostly in touch via email through our website. You can subscribe there. And with that, I'd like to end. Guys, love you very much. Wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. And see you with the next video. Bye-bye.